Chapter 2491. How did you? Qin Chu looked at the woman in front of him in shock. Hello, President Qin. Let me introduce myself. I'm a new employee hired by the HR department to help Sister Bella. My name is Zhang Manlin. You can call me Lin Lin. The girl's every movement and smile were perfect. Qin Chu was surprised to see her, not because of how beautiful or cute she was. It was because she had a face that was 70% similar to Huamin's. Yes, he was right. They were 70% similar. The girl looked young with a ponytail. She looked more like a young Huamin. Fortunately, her voice was different. Otherwise, Qin Chu would have mistaken her for his wife who had come to the company. Who hired you? Qin Chu frowned slightly. Manager Go from the HR department. The girl smiled. Without another word, Qin Chu turned around and walked into his office, leaving the girl standing there awkwardly, not knowing what to do. After Qin Chu returned to his office, he sat down and dialed the intercom. Tell the person in charge of the HR department to come see me immediately. 5 minutes later, President Qin, you were looking for me? The female manager of the HR department knocked on the door carefully. Did you hire Bella's new assistant? Qin Chu asked. Where did you hire her? A lot of people sent us their resumes and we selected her. This girl has a good education and looks mature. Do you know that she looks like my wife? Qin Chu asked coldly. President Qin, very well, you're fired. What? The person in charge of the HR department was dumbfounded. I said, you're fired, and so is the woman outside. You're all fired. Although Qin Chu had a bad temper, he rarely fired employees. Now that he fired the person in charge of the HR department, it caused a huge uproar. Some people said that the person in charge of the HR department purposely found a girl who looked like President Qin's wife to win his favor. In the end, he overreached himself. There were also people who said that Mr. Qin didn't want a woman who looked like his wife to appear. In short, he didn't like her. Zhang Manlin was fired on her first day of work. She was really unlucky. She took her things and walked out quietly. Along the way, he heard the people in the company talking about it. However, her expression remained calm, as if this matter had nothing to do with her. Sis. Zhixin had just returned from a business trip and didn't know what was going on. As soon as he returned to the company, he saw this familiar figure from afar. Thinking that it was Huamin, she almost rushed over and hugged him. When she got closer, she realized that it was an unfamiliar girl. I'm sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Zhixin immediately apologized. It doesn't matter, the girl replied faintly and continued to walk out. At this time, Qin Chu and Bella also came downstairs and were about to go out. When they came down from the top floor elevator and passed through the lobby, they bumped into each other. The girl suddenly summoned her courage and took the initiative to stop Qin Chu. Chairman Qin, please wait a moment. Qin Chu stopped in his tracks, but he didn't turn around. President Qin, I heard that. I look a lot like your wife? So I was fired? Is that so? Qin Chu turned his head and glanced at her face coldly. Who told you that you look like my wife? Chapter 2492. Isn't the entire company talking about it? To be honest, I was quite happy when I was hired by your company. After all, it's a world-renowned company. But now, it seems like President Qin is just an emotional man. He didn't even give me a chance and fired me. Not only me, but the person who hired me was implicated as well. If this was in ancient times, it would be the behavior of a tyrant. The girl suddenly changed the topic and became sharp-tongued. She ridiculed Qin Chu in front of all the employees. No one dared to even breathe loudly. Is this little girl crazy? Is she mentally ill? How dare she talk back to President Qin? Some of the employees whispered among themselves. Our company doesn't want employees who talk back to their superiors. Bella couldn't stand it anymore and looked at the girl as she replied. Miss Bella, that's not right. I was fired 10 minutes ago, and I'm no longer an employee of your company. So, you don't have to worry about anything. I just want to say that young entrepreneurs and listed companies are just SOSO. If you don't want me here, there will be other places for me. Then, the girl hugged her personal belongings and turned to leave. She really looks like my sister. Ji Xin was dumbfounded. I don't think so. Huamin isn't that reckless, Bella calmly analyzed. Surprised, Qin Chu didn't say anything. He didn't fly into a rage either. He just lowered his head and walked out of the company's headquarters. At Imperial Star, after work, Su Yu listlessly drove his car, wondering if he should go back to the old mansion for dinner or go back to his private mansion. He was careless and almost ran a red light. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and braked. Then, a red figure appeared in front of his car. Can't you see the red light? Seriously? I'm so unlucky today, Zhang Manlin complained. Su Yu was quite shocked when he saw the girl's face. Mia. He was pleasantly surprised, thinking that it was Huamin. Just as he was about to call out Mian's name, the girl looked up. After taking a closer look at her face, she realized that she wasn't Huamin, but she really resembled him. Whether it was her back view, figure, appearance, or even hairstyle, she was very similar to Huamin, but she obviously looked younger. The driver behind kept honking, but Su Yu had no intention of leaving. Su Yu wanted to say something. The young lady lowered her head and looked at her trousers. Don't worry, I'm not injured. I won't cheat you. It's just that my trousers are a little loose. Forget it, I'll fix it myself later. Then, he crossed the road and walked away while muttering to himself. Su Yu only came back to his senses after she walked past him. Then, he felt that this matter was a little strange. He couldn't help but send a WeChat message to Huamin. Are you there? I just saw a girl who looks very much like you. Huh, maybe she's my twin sister or something. Huamin laughed. I'm not joking, it's true. Where did you see her? Is she pretty? Huamin replied to Su Yu while eating an apple. How should I put it? I can't say for sure. She gives off the same vibe as you. I think it's a little strange. Mian, you have to be careful. Okay, don't worry, I'm fine. Huamin nodded. In fact, he didn't really take these words to heart. Just then, Qin Chu opened the door and walked in, looking a little tired. Honey, you're back. Huamin stood up and took the briefcase for him. Daddy, you're in a bad mood. Look at your dark face. Little Bean immediately saw that her daddy's expression wasn't right. Mian, come upstairs with me, I have something to talk to you about. Qin Chu rarely spoke to Huamin so formally, so as soon as he finished speaking, Huamin realized the seriousness of the matter. Chapter 2493. After the couple went upstairs, the twins began to talk to each other worriedly in the living room. Little Bean, sis, don't you think Daddy and Mommy are acting weird lately? Pudding, even a blind person can see it, okay? Little Bean, why didn't you say so earlier? Pudding, would it have worked? Little Bean, at least we can investigate the cause. Pudding, things between adults are very complicated. It's not something we can get involved in. Besides, Daddy and Mommy aren't ordinary adults. Their combined IQ is enough to crush us. So, it's better if we don't get involved in this. Little Bean, but I'm worried that things will go wrong. While Little Bean was talking, she glanced upstairs from time to time, looking worried. Pudding, what's wrong? Little Bean, they won't divorce, right? When the time comes, one of us will have to live with Daddy and the other with Mommy. Boo! I'm so pitiful. I'd rather live with Daddy. Mommy is so fierce. Pudding, you're thinking too far ahead. Besides, you don't have to worry about Daddy and Mommy divorcing. Before Pudding could finish, Little Bean interrupted her. Sis, are you trying to say that Daddy and Mommy love is stronger than gold? Even if the earth were to explode, Daddy and Mommy would never separate, right? Pudding, no, I mean, they're not even married. How could they divorce? Little Bean spat out a mouthful of milk onto the sofa. Sis, are you saying that we've always been illegitimate daughters? Little Bean's eyes widened. No, I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about the wedding. Don't you know that they've never had a wedding? But I would have forgotten about it if you didn't mention it. It's so worrying. I hope they'll be fine. Otherwise, we won't have a good life. Daddy has a cold face. If he fights with Mommy, he'll freeze us to death. Mommy has a bad temper too. If she's unhappy, she'll vent her anger on us. The two kids chatted downstairs. Of course, if their daughters could tell what was wrong with them, how could outsiders not? That night, Huamin and Qin Chu chatted for an hour and a half in the study upstairs. No one knew what they talked about, but when Huamin walked out, his expression was not very good. The two of them were no longer calling each other husband and wife as intimately as before. Let's go. Mommy will take you to bathe and sleep. Huamin went downstairs and led the twins upstairs. Qin Chu picked up his coat and walked out. Chu, it's so late. Where are you going? Mama Qin asked. I'm going out to do something. Drive carefully and come back early. All right. After Qin Chu left, Lady Qin raised her head and looked at her daughter-in-law and granddaughter who had gone upstairs. She then looked at her son who had just come back from work and went out again. He started to feel uneasy. Hubby, do you feel it? Mr. Qin was reading the newspaper with his reading glasses. When he heard Mama Qin's question, he looked up at her and asked, What do you feel? Something's wrong with Mian and Chu lately. What's wrong? I'm not sure, but it's definitely different from before. When you have time, ask Chu if he's under a lot of pressure at work or if he's in some kind of trouble. We don't want him and his wife to fight because of work. It's not easy for Mian to give birth to 2 children for our family. I really hope she won't make trouble again. Qin Chu's mother understood her daughter-in-law's difficulties more and more. In the bathroom upstairs, the twins took off their clothes and got into the bathtub. Mommy, you've been in here for less than 5 minutes and you've spaced out 3 times. What's wrong with you? Chapter 2494. It's nothing. You're lying. Pudding didn't believe her. Okay, you two hurry up and go to bed, Huamin lectured her 2 daughters. Pudding didn't ask too much since her mother wasn't in a good mood. After Huamin bathed the girls, she put them to bed. At around 10 o'clock, her 2 daughters were asleep. She closed the door and went back to her bedroom. She walked in the dark without turning on the lights. She stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window and looked at the scenery downstairs. It was going to be another sleepless night. The next morning, when Huamin drove to Southside Recuperation Center, she saw a few nurses chatting in the lobby. When they saw Huamin, they immediately greeted him. Good morning, Vice Director. Good morning. Huamin nodded slightly. Then, when she turned her head, she heard the nurses say, It's too similar, it's too similar. Huamin wasn't someone who liked to gossip, so she didn't ask what was going on. However, when she arrived at the office, Chen Jie looked at her strangely. Jie, what's wrong? Director, our hospital's finance department hired a new accountant today. Our hospital is so big, we hire new people every day. It's not like I'm in charge of this. Huamin smiled. She took off her coat and hung it up carefully. Then, he took out the neatly folded white coat from the cupboard and put it on. This series of actions was very skillful. Director, you haven't seen the new girl yet, right? Chen Jie asked carefully. Yeah, I haven't seen her yet. I just got here. What's wrong? Huamin was confused by Chen Jie's hesitation. Forget it, I don't know what to say. You'll see her in the morning meeting, and then you'll know what's going on. So mysterious. Does she look like Fan Bingbing? Huamin joked. 15 minutes later, she saw Zhang Manlin in the conference room for the first time. Huamin himself was deeply shocked. It was as if he was looking into a mirror. No, it was more accurate to say that he was looking at another version of himself. It was a magical feeling. All the colleagues at Southside also exclaimed that they were too similar. Chen Jie, who had been with Huamin the longest, couldn't help but sigh. How could there be such a similar woman? Hello, Vice Director Hua. I'm Zhang Manlin. Hello, I'm Huamin. Huamin was a calm person. Even in this situation, he didn't lose his composure. She suddenly understood why Su Yu said that he saw someone who looked like her. It turned out that there really was one. The most miraculous thing was that this girl looked especially innocent because of her young age. She looked more like him when he was young. Huamin suddenly had a very unpleasant feeling in his heart. She wondered how Qin Chu would react if he saw this woman. Chief, we can start the meeting now, Chen Jie carefully reminded him. Huamian's expression didn't change as she picked up the documents and began to talk. Half an hour later, Huamin and Xianxia walked out of the conference room. Vice Director, do you have a moment? I want to talk to you. The girl named Zhang Manlin jogged over. Sure. Huamin didn't refuse. He also wanted to know what he could talk about with his buddies. To his surprise, the first thing the girl said when he entered the office was, Vice Director, to be honest, I just came to this city and wanted to find a better job. I was selected when I submitted my resume to GK, but when I went to work, I was fired for no reason. So, I came to your hospital for an interview. Then, I heard that you're President Qin's wife, right? Huamin nodded without hiding anything. Chapter 2495. It seems like the rumors are true. What rumors? Huamin was curious. Rumor has it that President Qin of GK spoils his wife to the point that he can't tolerate anyone who looks like her. It seems like I wasn't fired for nothing. What about you, Vice Director? Did you also fire me for no reason and convict me just because I look like you? After the girl said this, Huamin suddenly realized that she was a very smart person. Without a doubt, her words put Huamin on a pedestal. If he fired her, it would seem too petty. How could the vice director of Southside be so narrow-minded? If he said no, Huamin felt that it was too weird to keep someone who looked so much like him under his nose. After a moment of silence, Huamin nodded. I won't. That's good, then there's no problem. Thank you, Vice Director. But I still want to say that my face was given to me by my parents. I can't do anything about it, but I can say for sure that I'm not related to you by blood. I asked my colleagues about your blood type, and it's different from mine. Most importantly, my parents are just ordinary farmers and don't have that many complicated feuds with rich families. So, of course, I won't shamelessly claim kinship with you, Vice Director. You don't have to worry about that. I'm going back to work. Thank you for taking your precious time. Then, the girl opened the door and left. Huamin's expression became complicated. This girl's attitude towards her wasn't flattering or rude, but there was a hint of arrogance in her bones. That arrogance was becoming more and more like her when she was younger. In a trance, she had a feeling that she had traveled back in time to 10 years ago. Zhang Manlin was an extremely cheerful person, even a bit of a tomboy. She got along well with everyone. She was the center of attention wherever she went. Although she wasn't stunningly beautiful, she had a strong presence. Therefore, for the first few days, Southside was in an uproar. Even President Wu, who came back from a business trip, came to see this girl in person. The male doctors in the hospital were even more attentive to the young lady because she was single. For a time, everyone in Southside, be it the doctors, nurses, anesthetists, or even patients, had a harmonious relationship with this young lady. At this moment, Huamin's heart began to subtly change. He couldn't describe what he was feeling. He just felt unhappy. He couldn't say he was jealous, but he couldn't say he was happy either. She couldn't say that it didn't matter. She hadn't cultivated to the point where she had no desires. Lunchtime Southern District cafeteria, wherever Zhang Manlin went to get her food, the place would be filled immediately. Then, a group of people would start chatting and laughing. Manlin, are you really not related to our vice director? A young nurse asked. I really don't. My family is from the countryside and my parents are farmers. They've been farming for their entire lives. How could I have a relative as awesome as the vice director? Zhang Manlin smiled. Then you two are too similar. Did you have plastic surgery? Someone joked. Zhang Manlin wasn't angry. She only retorted, I'm not afraid of offending our vice director. If I did plastic surgery, I wouldn't look like her. After all, my face isn't beautiful. If I did plastic surgery, I would look like a baby. Ha! Her words made everyone roar with laughter. Huamian, on the other hand, was sitting in a quiet corner, eating slowly and methodically. The atmosphere around her was a lot colder. These days, Xianxia would go over to take care of Ni Yang's mother at noon, so she basically ate by herself. Can I sit here? A pleasant male voice sounded. Huamin looked up at him. Chapter 2496. Whatever, Huamin replied faintly. Should I call you Dr. Hua or Vice Director Hua? Lu Zhe asked with a smile as he held his plate. Either is fine. Then I'll call you Dr. Hua. Vice Director Hua sounds good, Lu Zhe said half-jokingly. It's okay. I'm not young anymore, Hua Min said frankly. Who said so? Dr. Hua is still in his prime. Thank you for your compliment, Dr. Lu, but I'm really not. Did you fix your car? I think so. I don't have time to pick it up. Yeah. I saw you driving a white Porsche this morning. You have a lot of luxury cars in your family. Qin Chu is really rich, Lu Zhe commented objectively. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dated him in high school. I did it so I could marry into a rich family, Hua Min said self-deprecatingly. You're not that kind of person, Dr. Lu, don't act like you know me very well. I hate it when people try to figure me out. Although I haven't been in your class for a long time, you left the deepest impression on me, really. Thank you. It's just that some people showed up late so they might miss out on a lot of things. Lu Zhe said ambiguously. It's about time. I'm done eating. Dr. Lu, take your time. Hua Min stood up with a smile. He put his plate aside and turned to leave. Lu Zhe looked at her back and smiled thoughtfully. She is indeed a difficult woman to deal with. Su Yu hadn't been in a good mood recently, so he didn't take the initiative to pick up the twins. In the end, the twins couldn't help but come to him. President Su, Pudding and Little Bean are here, and knocked on the door and said, Yeah. Su Yu was in the middle of a video conference. When he heard that the twins were here, he immediately said to his colleagues, Something came up. Let's call it a day. If you have any questions, just send me an email. That's all. Then Su Yu hung up. When he got up, Pudding and Little Bean walked in. The two ladies were wearing black wide-legged pants, white long sleeves, and black vests. They were dressed fashionably. I'll give you full marks for your outfit today. Su Yu's eyes were full of love. Shut up. Why hasn't handsome Su visited us in so long? Little Bean asked. Haven't you been busy recently? It hasn't been that long, right? Su Yu felt wronged. It's been 6 days. It's almost a week, okay? Little Bean corrected him. Yes, it's my fault. I was careless. But didn't I ask your mommy to bring you that robot? This can also be considered as making amends, right? Su Yu laughed. Pudding sat on the sofa and blew bubbles as she said, Now that you mention it, I remember something. Handsome Su, you're so busy. How did you have time to go to South Side to give the things to my mommy? I went to South Side for a checkup. It's on the way. Su Yu made up an excuse. That's not what my mommy said. It doesn't match up, right? Pudding continued to ask. Oh, okay, you two little devils. I'm sorry, I'm guilty. Fine, I'll listen to you. I've already cut off the video conference. Isn't that enough? Su Yu was very patient with the twins, which was rare for him. Handsome Su, other than wanting to see you, we're here today because we need your help. Little Bean climbed onto Su Yu's lap and hugged his neck coquettishly. You two are begging me? I promise it's not something good, right? Su Yu looked at the two little ancestors warily. Chapter 2497. Sis, this is a serious matter. You should tell him. Little Bean looked at Pudding with a bitter expression. Pudding nodded. Then she looked up at Su Yu and said, My daddy and mommy are in a fight. No, sis, it's not a fight. I think they're in a fight right now. Or rather, they're in a Cold War, Little Bean corrected. Cold War? Su Yu frowned. From what Su Yu knew about Hua Min and Qin Chu over the years, he knew better than anyone how Qin Chu felt about Hua Min. I'm not sure. We don't dare to ask, Pudding said. Yes, but I'm sure there's a problem, Little Bean added. Are you sure you're not imagining things? The twins' words made Su Yu very suspicious. After all, they were only 3 years old. We're sure, the twins answered in unison. So, what should I do? Su Yu felt that this was too sudden, so he didn't know how to deal with it. If we knew what to do, would we ask you? That's why we want to ask you. Tell us what to do or help us. Little Bean looked worried. This is a private matter between them. It's not good for outsiders to interfere. If I meddle too much, it'll make things worse and create more misunderstandings between them. Su Yu was good at this. He knew his place. Back then, he chased after Huamin without knowing anything. Later, when he found out that Huamin was married, he restrained himself and even deliberately kept his distance. Even when Qin Chu was missing for 4 years, he didn't use any underhanded means to make Huamin fall for him. So, when he heard that the couple was not in a good relationship, Su Yu's heart was in a mess. "Handsome Su, I think this is a serious problem," Pudding said seriously. "Why do you say that?" "That's because Daddy and Mommy haven't been spending much time together lately. They usually don't talk much, and Mommy looks like she has something on her mind. But you know, Mommy won't tell us anything. After all, we're her daughters. But you're different. You're her friend. I think maybe you can try asking Mommy what's wrong and we can help you solve it?" Pudding analyzed calmly. "It's not good for me to see your Mommy alone. We just met a few days ago, so we can't do it too often. How about this? I'll think of a way to confirm it later." "That's good too. Remember to tell us if you have any news. And you must be hungry. Let me take you to eat something first." Just like that, Suyu drove the twins to the hotel for crab porridge and some snacks. Then he asked Xiaoan to send them back. After the twins left, Suyu took this matter seriously. Therefore, he ordered his subordinates to investigate secretly. Of course, it was useless to investigate the matter between Huamin and Qin Chu. So, Suyu couldn't help but ask Huamian on WeChat. "Hello, Dr. Hua." Suyu picked a time in the morning because he knew that Huamin must be at Southside and not with Qin Chu. "What do you need, Lord Su?" Huamin said half-jokingly. "Oh, you can still joke. It seems like your mood isn't as bad as the rumors say. Who said I'm in a bad mood?" Huamin asked back. Suyu stammered. Chapter 2498. Is it Pudding or Little Bean? Huamin guessed that other than his daughter, no one else would be so nosy. "Can't you pretend to be stupid?" Suyu said helplessly. Don't listen to their nonsense. They're bored at home because they don't have a kindergarten to attend. By the way, are you really going to let them stay at home and be friends with them? I haven't thought about it yet. You know, we don't want to send them out of the country. There's no suitable school for them to go to. With their intelligence, they should be able to enter the 2nd year of high school. But they won't be able to keep up with the pace of high school life. The age gap is too big, so it'll be troublesome. You're right. You want to talk to me about something? Nothing. I just wanted to ask if you're free these days. Let's have dinner together. I'll invite Wei Liao and the others. Treat us to dinner? That's a good thing. Yeah. Didn't a new hot pot restaurant open on Sanyuan Road? I heard it's very ethnic. I'm going to take you guys there to try it. Let's make an appointment. Huamin agreed immediately. Suyu seemed to want to say something but stopped. Ask me what you want to ask. Huamin knew that Suyu rarely talked to her. How have you been recently? I've been fine. Are you really okay? Don't lie to me. I'm really fine. Huamin smiled faintly. If you're unhappy about something, just tell me. Don't hold it in, okay? I know. Okay. I won't disturb you anymore. Go to your work. Talk to you later. After hanging up, Suyu let out a long sigh. He knew this would happen. With Huamin's introverted personality, even if he really didn't have a good relationship with Qin Chu, he wouldn't say it out loud. So, it would be strange if he asked anything, "President Su?" and walked in. "How is it? Have you checked everything I asked you to?" "Yeah, I did. Nothing major happened, but GK did fire 2 employees recently. I wonder if it has anything to do with this." And was confused. Fire 2 employees? This shouldn't be a problem, right? Suyu racked his brains but still couldn't think of anything that could have happened between Huamin and Qin Chu. Suddenly, he thought of someone, Shenmingxi. Shenmingxi had mentioned that he and Hua Yanyan had asked Huamin to beg Hua Xiqian for help. Could it be because of this? Was it because Huamin had met Hua Xiqian that Qin Chu was unhappy? At this thought, Su Yu's face darkened. Check Shenmingxi's current schedule for me. Okay, President Su. 40 minutes later, Shenmingxi and Hua Yanyan were drinking tea and listening to music in a tea house. Su Yu's arrival surprised them. Lord Su. Shen Mingxi was still scared after being beaten up by Su Yu. Young Master Su. Hui Yanyan nodded in greeting. That day, you too went to Huamin and asked her to go to Huaxiqian, right? Su Yu asked directly. Yes. Shen Mingxi nodded. When did she go back? Did Huaxiqian do anything to her? Su Yu asked with a dark expression. I don't know. Huamin went to Huaxiqian by herself. Huaxiqian let her go as soon as she arrived, so we didn't ask for details, Shen Mingxi answered. Very good. Burning the bridge after crossing it? Su Yu clenched his fists in anger. Young Master Su, do you have any misunderstandings about us? Hui Yanyan asked weakly when she saw that Su Yu didn't come with good intentions. Chapter 2499. You shut the fuck up. To be honest, if it weren't for the fact that Su Yu didn't like hitting women, Su Yu would have beaten Hui Yanyan to a pulp. I'm telling you guys, stay away from Huamin from now on. Don't even think about hitting on her. After speaking, Su Yu left in a huff. How did young Master Su know about that? Did you tell him? Hui Yanyan turned around and looked at Shen Mingxi with a livid expression. Yeah, I was drinking with him that day and tried to persuade him to give up on Huamin. I might have gone too far and made him very unhappy. Thinking back, Shen Mingxi still regretted it like a machine. If he knew that Su Yu was so protective of Huamin, he would have never said a word about it. Hui Yanyan stomped her feet in anger. She pointed at Shen Mingxi. How could you be so stupid? You know that young Master Su likes Mian, and he's obsessed with her. I was a little drunk at the time, so I got a little braver and analyzed the situation for him. I didn't think. Forget it, don't ever say that again. Also, don't ever talk about anything related to Mian again, Hui Yanyan warned in a huff. So you're not going to get revenge? Shen Mingxi looked up and asked. Of course, I'm going to get revenge. Then how are we going to get revenge? Huaxiqian must have been on guard against us. Shen Mingxi gripped his teacup in frustration. We can sit on top of the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Sit on top of the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Shen Mingxi frowned slightly. Judging from young Master Su's expression just now, I know that he's going to get revenge on Huaxiqian. Plus, we can find an opportunity to tell Qin Chu that Mian met with Huaxiqian in private. He'll definitely go after Huaxiqian. Then, we won't have to do anything, and the problem will be solved on its own. I never realized how scary you are when you're smart. Shen Mingxi looked at Hui Yanyan with a strange look in his eyes, as if he was meeting her for the first time. Upon hearing Shen Mingxi's words, Hui Yanyan immediately grabbed the back of his hand and coaxed coquettishly, Mingxi, you know how miserable I've been. Everything I've been through was caused by that guy. My father's death, my mother's disappearance, and my younger brother's death are all related to him. I had no choice. Actually, I didn't want to be so ruthless. Forget it, I understand your difficulties. Anyway, since you've decided to follow me, I won't ignore your matters. Shen Mingxi felt that Hui Yanyan was someone who deserved his protection, so even though Su Yu had said those words, he would rather believe his intuition. City, inside a high-end bowling alley, President Hua, bad news. Someone smashed our car. One of Huaxiqian's subordinates rushed in to report. Did Su Yu do it? Huaxiqian didn't care as he continued to bowl. After a few consecutive perfect moves, the young models watching from the sidelines screamed in excitement. Young Master Hua is amazing. That's amazing. He's really good at bowling. President Hua, how did you know? Did you see the surveillance footage? His subordinates were dumbfounded. How did the boss know what happened a minute ago? Did he have the ability to predict the future? If you look at the entire city, there are very few people who would dare to smash my car. Qin Chu would never do something so childish, and Shen Mingxi wouldn't dare to do it again. I think only that little kid, Su Yu, would do something so ridiculous. Huaxiqian had always called Su Yu little kid, because he felt that sometimes, when he was impulsive, his IQ was like that of a 3-year-old. Of course, the only person in the world who could make Su Yu turn into a 3-year-old was Su Yu. Huaxiqian, fuck, get out here. Su Yu's voice drifted in before he even entered the building. Everyone upstairs retreated to both sides to make way for the crown prince. Chapter 2500. President Su, what brings you here? Hua Xiqian smiled brightly. Hua Xiqian was born with great patience. He grew up in the Hua family and was able to get to where he was today. It had to be said that he had suffered a lot. Therefore, the people around Hua Xiqian, including the employees of the Hua Corporation, rarely saw him get angry. There was a rumor that spread throughout the Hua Corporation. It was said that there was a new cleaning lady at the company. When she was mopping the floor, the road was too slippery and she lost her balance. When she fell, the dirty cloth in her hand flew out. It landed on Hua Xiqian's newly bought leather shoes that cost 70 to 80,000 yuan. At that time, everyone thought that the cleaning lady was unlucky. To their surprise, Hua Xiqian didn't say anything. He even helped her up with a smile and asked if she was hurt. The cleaning lady was so touched that tears streamed down her face. From then on, she worked even harder. Apparently, she was now the director of the cleaning department of the entire corporation. Therefore, it was normal to see Hua Xiqian smile. Even though he just found out that Su Yu smashed his car, he could still smile. Don't talk to me about useless things. Let me ask you, why are you still bothering Hua Min? Su Yu walked over and grabbed Hua Xiqian's collar. The bodyguards behind Hua Xiqian were about to rush up, but Hua Xiqian stopped them with his hand. President Su, don't mess around. What are you talking about? How am I bothering my little sister? If Shen Mingxi and Hua Yanyan want to deal with you, then go find them. Why do you have to drag me on into this? Are you going to forget if I don't teach you a lesson? President Su, look at how agitated you are. People who don't know better would think that my little sister is your wife. Ha. Hua Xiqian smiled lightly, but his eyes were filled with mockery. Indeed, Su Yu was helping Hua Min deal with the injustice. What right did he have to do that? He was not justified. Seeing Su Yu's reaction, Hua Xiqian seemed to be very proud. He continued, is my brother-in-law, President Qin, too busy recently? He even needs you to do something like this for him. Shut up, you bastard. Su Yu was so angry that his face turned green. Don't be angry. Calm down. We've known each other for a long time. Let's sit down and talk. Talk my ass, that's my temper. Don't make things difficult for Hua Min in the future. Otherwise, I won't let you off. Su Yu really wanted to strangle that bastard Hua Xiqian to death on the spot, but he couldn't go too far in front of so many people. If the media caught them, they would be in big trouble. After all, he was from a famous family and was attending the 17th National Congress in Jing City. So, in order to not ruin his grandfather's reputation, Su Yu forced himself not to hit him. He only gave him a very serious warning. Brother Su, you should be thanking me. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have had the chance to be with me on for 4 years. People should learn to be content. Hua Xiqian's collar was pulled, and he was about to punch Su Yu in the face. However, he still didn't learn his lesson and continued to provoke Su Yu. Bullshit, if it weren't for you, all these things wouldn't have happened. I'd rather not have those 4 years than see me live a life worse than death. Su Yu lowered his voice and enunciated each and every word. Don't make yourself sound so great. If you don't believe me, we'll see. It won't be long before Mion fades out of your sight. Hua Xiqian said with a mysterious smile. What do you mean? What do you want to do to her? Su Yu felt inexplicably nervous after hearing Hua Xiqian's words. Chapter 2501. What's the rush? You'll know when the time comes. Hua Xiqian was still smiling. Why do you keep haunting Hua Xiqian? Su Yu was furious and wanted to tear Hua Xiqian into pieces. President Su, you're asking a strange question. Aren't you also haunting me? How noble are you compared to me? I'm not like you, Su Yu roared. Stop lying to yourself. We're all the same. Can you honestly say that you don't want Hua Xiqian? Don't you want to spend all your time with her and be with her forever? Su Yu was speechless. It was true that he loved Hua Min deeply. He would be lying if he said that he didn't want to spend the rest of his life with her. After all, love was the most selfish thing. Otherwise, Su Yu's heart wouldn't ache every time he saw Hua Min and Qin Chu being lovey-dovey. Although he tried his best to convince himself not to dream, his heart still ached uncontrollably. So, Huasiqian was right and touched Su Yu's sore spot. Enjoy your time with Huamian. Maybe you won't have another chance in the future. What on earth do you want to do to her? Su Yu's heart tightened again. Don't be so nervous. Our Mian is so smart and protected by you and Qin Chu. What can I do to her? I'm warning you. Don't get close to her. If I find out that you're plotting something against her, I'll throw you into the sea to feed the sharks. Su Yu warned. What if Huamian comes to me and is willing to be with me? Huasiqian asked. Impossible. Su Yu immediately denied. Nothing is impossible in this world. Some words shouldn't be said too early. Stop trying to be mysterious with me. I won't fall for it. I'm not Shen Mingxi or Hui Yanyan. Don't try to scare me like you used to scare children. Of course not. President Su, you've always been a daring man. Who can scare you? I'll be frank with you. If one day Mian comes back to me of her own accord, don't blame me. Don't worry, you won't live to see that day. Su Yu boasted shamelessly. It's okay. Even if I die with her, I'll still be very happy. You've done so many bad things. Even after you die, you'll be ground to dust. Mian won't be with you. Stop dreaming. All right then, let's wait and see. I believe the next game will get more and more interesting. After saying that, Huasiqian broke free from Su Yu's hand, bent down, picked up a bowling ball, and threw it over. He hit the target with one strike. It was a beautiful move. Su Yu didn't know what he was going to do, but he had a feeling that Huasiqian was going to do something big. Su Yu went downstairs angrily without a word. As he sat on the Lamborghini, he seemed to be thinking about Huasiqian's words. President Su, are you okay? I'm fine. Su Yu's face darkened. Just then, his phone suddenly rang. Su Yu picked it up and looked at it. Then he picked up the call. Mom, what's up? Su Yu asked. Son, come back for dinner. Mom cooked your favorite sweet corn. It's the freshest variety from the Academy of Agricultural Sciences. Su Yu looked down at his watch. President Su, you're going back to the old mansion? I'll get off the car and take a cab, and said as he got off the car. No need. Come home with me. That's not good. And was a bit speechless. It's fine. Let's go. Then, Su Yu made a U-turn and drove back to the old mansion. Young master, you're back. The maid saw Su Yu walk in and greeted him politely. As soon as Su Yu walked in, he saw an unfamiliar woman sitting on the sofa. She had fair skin, beautiful features, and long legs. She wore a white dress with plaid straps that gave her a retro feel. Chapter 2502. Before Su Yu could say anything, the girl stood up shyly. Then she smiled and greeted him. Hello, I'm Meng Weiniang. Su Yu didn't say anything. He just kept a straight face and looked at her as if she was still a stranger. It was very awkward. Fortunately, at that moment, Mother Su walked out of the kitchen. Son, you're back? Hey, and is here too. Mother Su smiled. Hello, madam, and greeted her in a low-key manner. Take a seat, I'll get some fruits. All right, son, you don't even know this girl, right? Huh, I don't recognize her either. Do you still remember your Uncle Meng? He's your father's old comrade. When he was young, he came to our house as a guest and brought you a lot of Russian toy guns. That one? I don't remember. Su Yu shook his head. Look at your memory, you're just like me. Anyway, you remember that she's your Uncle Meng's daughter. Weiniang, this is my son, Su Yu. Look at him. Don't you think he's much more handsome than before? Mother Su held the girl's hand and smiled. Enichim, you look much better in person than in the photos. The girl smiled and praised Su Yu in a subtle way. Come. You're back just in time. Dinner is ready. Before Su Yu could say anything, Mother Su pulled the girl and called Su Yu and into the dining room, and had always been self-aware. When he saw that there were guests at home, he followed behind Su Yu and said in a low voice, President Su, I'm leaving first. If you dare to leave, I'll break your legs. You have guests at home. Su Yu, you're not allowed to leave. Sit down. We'll eat together after dinner. And now he understood. He was wondering why President Su was so open-minded today and brought him home for dinner. Did the sun rise from the west? Now he understood that he was using him as a shield. Get over here and eat, Suyu ordered in a low voice. And lowered his head and didn't dare to say anything. He quietly stood behind Suyu and the four of them sat down. Mom, where's Dad? There's a dinner with a few government officials. Oh, what about Grandpa? Suyu asked without raising his head. He's still in a meeting in Jingdu. He won't be back for at least a week. Oh, that's strange. Grandpa isn't home, and Dad isn't home. Who brought this girl here? Suyu asked straightforwardly. His question made the girl blush. Hey, what do you know? Do you know what Wang Lin does? Mrs. Su asked mysteriously. Mom, aren't you asking nonsense? I don't know how to read fortunes. How would I know what she does? Wang Lin, he's a military doctor. Do you know? Graduated from the most famous medical university in Kyoto and advanced to a doctorate at Tokyo Medical University. Now, you're working in Kyoto's first military district hospital. You're colleagues with Professor Luo and the others, aren't you? Oh. Suyu seemed very calm. What do you mean, oh? I'm asking you if he's awesome? Mrs. Su asked. It's all right. Suyu pursed his lips, but in his heart he thought, what's this? How can she not be good at studying? Huan Mian was the awesome one. She didn't study abroad or go to a famous school, but she was still a top-notch doctor. Wang Lin came to our place this time to do calf surgery for a leader at the military hospital. After I heard about it, I invited her to our home to catch up. Since she's busy, don't ask her to stay. Are you going back to the military hospital later? I'll ask my driver to take you, Suyu looked at the girl and asked. I. The girl bit her lower lip and didn't seem to know how to answer. Chapter 2503. You, what are you doing? Wang Lin just arrived. Why don't you let her rest? Mrs. Su glared at her son. I was just thinking that the surgery is urgent. I don't want to delay the health of the leader. Is that what you think? Mrs. Su was angry and quickly comforted the girl. Wang Lin, don't think too much. You always speaks without thinking. It's okay, Auntie. I was just about to go take a look. After dinner, please ask Big Brother Suyu to give me a ride. Big Brother Suyu? Are you younger than me? Suyu furrowed his brows. I? Asked Auntie. I'm 2 years younger than you, the girl answered obediently. Really? 2 years younger than me? That doesn't make sense. She looks very old. After hearing Suyu's words, An, who was drinking soup, almost spat it out. After working for President Su for so long, it was the first time he saw him being so sarcastic. You, how can you say that? Mrs. Su was about to go crazy. Mom, I'm just telling the truth. Don't you think she looks very old? At this moment, the girl's face had turned pale. Auntie Su, I don't feel well. I'll go to the hospital first. Don't, Wang Lin. Eat before you leave. I'll ask the driver to give you a ride, Sister Wang Lin, Suyu added. Hearing the words Sister Wang Lin, the girl's face was almost as long as the Changbai Mountains. No, thank you for your kindness, little brother Suyu. I can drive myself. With that, the girl picked up her bag and walked out. Mrs. Su hurried to see her off and then tried to explain to her. Wang Lin, don't take it to heart. My son, he's done with you. Auntie Su, I'm fine. I know your son doesn't like me. It's okay. With that, the girl got into the car and left the Su family without even eating. When Mrs. Su came back, she saw Suyu eating happily with cooked corn. Put it down. How dare you eat it? Mrs. Su reprimanded. Calm down. I'm your son. You still have the nerve to talk about me? How did I give birth to a son like you? A good girl ran away because of you. Do you know how much effort I put in to bring her back and create an opportunity for you two to meet? Mom, that woman is not my cup of tea. And is she your type? Suyu turned his head and asked Xiao, and was in a dilemma. He didn't dare to nod or shake his head for fear of offending both sides. Look, this woman is so beautiful that even Xiao is speechless. You still want to introduce her to me? What are you thinking? Su Yu had more to say now, and was speechless. Xiaoen's heart was really bitter. He really wanted to shout, President Su, I won't take the blame for this, but he really didn't dare. I'm doing this for your own good. I thought you liked doctors, so I did everything I could to find a doctor for you. It wasn't easy to find such a talented and good-looking one. You know, the girl's parents are both military leaders and her grandpa and your grandpa are old friends. What a good marriage. Mom, I might have misunderstood you. What misunderstanding? Hearing her son's words, Mrs. Su was slightly stunned and waited for him to continue. Actually, I don't like doctors, Su Yu said. Then he added in a low voice, I just like Huamin, who happens to be a doctor. That's all. Chapter 2504. You're so stubborn. Mommy's heart aches for you. Hearing her son's words, Mrs. Su felt as if someone had stabbed her heart. Sigh, Mom, don't feel sorry for me. I have my own life. Just enjoy your old age. I know what to do with my own matters. Let's not wait anymore, okay? Mion has already made it very clear to you. Even if her husband really dies, she won't marry you. Let's not wait anymore, okay? Mrs. Su coaxed her son as if he was a child, and an outsider felt tears welling up in his eyes when he heard this. Su Yu silently took a bite of corn and chewed without tasting it. Mom, I don't have the final say in this matter. I know everything, but forget it, let's not talk about this. Su Yu didn't dare to continue. He hated emotional scenes like this the most. Putting down the unfinished corn, Su Yu stood up and walked out. Mom, I'm going to the company. I'll come back to see you when I'm free. And immediately followed him out and got into the car. Drive me back, then you can go home too. Su Yu sat in the passenger seat with a dispirited look on his face and knew that his boss was in a bad mood, so he didn't dare to say anything. On the way, Su Yu took out his phone and opened WeChat. After thinking for a long time, he wrote this, We always try to comfort others like wise men, but we torture ourselves like fools. When we comfort others, we make sense, but when we encounter things that we can't get over, we can't help ourselves and fall into an endless cycle. Everyone understands the big picture, but it's just a little emotional. My story is too seductive. Perhaps this is what Han Han said in the movie. You've heard many big truths, but you still can't live a good life. Su Yu rarely posted such things on his WeChat moments. Boys were different from girls. Most girls like to post chicken soup for the soul. For example, Zhu Lingling, Huamin, and Jiang Xiaowei would sometimes repost some jokes or comprehend some words themselves. However, most boys would just post pictures and not say anything. Therefore, less than a minute after Su Yu posted this, his WeChat moments exploded. Wei Liao, your account was hacked? Tang Chuan, do you miss me too much? I'm leaving. Are you bored? A certain rich second-generation heir, Lord Su, come out for a drink tonight? A certain official's son, President Su, are you in a bad mood? I'll introduce you to girls. Do you want to go? Jiang Xiaowei, what's going on? Who knows? N.I. Yang, President Su is unhappy for a few days every month. Zhu Lingling replied to N.I. Yang, so, is President Su on her period? Nielingxian, President Su, do your best. We're with you and Imperial Star. Cotton Candy, President Su is mighty and domineering. He will always be the best. A certain director, bro, come to the capital to play? Entertain you for a few days? A jeweler, young Master Su, are you in a bad mood? I got a batch of gems for you. Come and have a look when you have time. A certain luxury car president, Lord Su is unhappy and changed his Lamborghini. Do you want an Audi Pikes Peak? Tang Chuan replied to Lord Su, fuck, Su, you tricked my Lord Su again. An Audi Pikes Peak costs hundreds of millions. A certain luxury car president, the problem is that Lord Su doesn't lack money. Seeing these boring replies, Su Yu didn't reply to any of them. Putting, handsome Su, who bullied you? Tell me and I'll get revenge for you. Little Bean, that's right. You can beat him up. Seeing the twins' replies, Su Yu snickered. Just as he was about to put down his phone, he saw Huamin's reply. This is what she said. Chapter 2505. Huamin, fuck, Lord Su, you're already in this state and you're still saying that you can't live a good life. Do you think that ordinary people like us should just kill ourselves? Su Yu, Huamin's comment was a little unexpected. It wasn't chicken soup for the soul, nor was it poisonous. It was just a joke between friends. The atmosphere instantly lightened up, and Su Yu secretly smiled. Jiang Shaowei replied to Huamin, My Mian, you really hit the nail on the head. I'm rooting for you. Zhu Lingling replied to Huamin, My Mian has nothing to do with anyone. I support her. Tang Chuan, sister-in-law, you're right. Lord Su is indeed a little pretentious this time. But don't blame him. It's spring now. Even animals have their estrus and irritated periods. As a bachelor, it's normal for our Lord Su to have some negative emotions. Ha. Su Yu replied to Tang Chuan, Fuck, if you have the guts, hide in the States for the rest of your life. If I see you, I'll break your legs. Tang Chuan replied to Su Yu, La, the emperor is too far away. You can't hit him. You can't hit him. Tang Chuan had always been a cheerful person, so when he joked with Su Yu, he was as childish as a child. Wei Liao, all right, Dr. Hua will take care of everything. Everyone, go home. There were still many replies, but Su Yu didn't care about them. Since Huamin had already left a comment, he was in a much better mood. Just as he was about to get up and leave, he suddenly received a WeChat message. It was sent to him by Huamin alone. Huamin said, Su Yu, we're all people with our own attitudes. Don't act like you're not good at for those meaningless audiences. Su Yu sighed slightly in his heart. In the end, he only replied with one word, yes. He understood Huamin's intentions. In fact, what he wanted was just Huamin's occasional attention, just like what he was saying now. He knew that his behavior was wrong, but he couldn't control himself. GK headquarters. When Qin Chu brought Bella downstairs, he saw that the lobby on the first floor was filled with people. There was even an ambulance parked at the entrance. What's going on? Bella looked at him curiously. Everyone get out of the way. We need to send the patient to the hospital immediately. She has a heart attack and her life is in danger. After that, a young girl carried a female employee of Qin Chu's company on her back and walked out. But because she wasn't looking where she was going, she accidentally bumped into Qin Chu. Get out of the way, get out of the way. It's a matter of life and death. Didn't you hear me? The girl raised her head and scolded him. To her surprise, the man in front of her was the big boss of GK. President Qin, why are you here? Qin Chu was a little surprised to see Zhang Manlin, so he asked coldly. I'm working at Southside now. Oh no, I can't talk about these useless things with you. I need to hurry up and save the patient. I'll do it. Zhang Manlin's petite and weak body was too strenuous for her to carry a burly woman. Qin Chu picked her up, carried her on his back, and sent her to the ambulance. Wow, President Qin is carrying Sister Liao himself. So lucky. Yeah, President Qin looks cold, but he's actually a very nice person. A few female employees whispered behind him. After the ambulance driver got off, he helped Zhang Manlin carry the patient. Qin Chu was about to turn and leave when Zhang Manlin said, Wait. President Qin, please wait a moment. Qin Chu stopped and turned around. Because she might have a major surgery, she needs a family member to sign it. But there's no time for a family member to sign it. So, as the leader of the company, can you come with us to the hospital and sign it for her? After all, she's your employee. Chapter 2506. Me. Qin Chu was a bit hesitant. Zhang Manlin nodded. Qin Chu lowered his head and looked at his female colleague who was having a heart attack. His face was pale, but in the end he got into the car without a word. President Qin, the meeting later? Bella's voice came from behind. Postpone it for an hour, Qin Chu ordered. Bella bit her lips as she held the documents for the meeting. Then, she turned around and went upstairs. Bella, weren't you going to the meeting with President Qin at Lijing Hotel? Jixin asked curiously. Yeah, President Qin had to leave first. The meeting was pushed back to an hour later. Oh, then you can slack off for a bit. Here, try the coffee I just bought. Jixin handed her the freshly brewed coffee. Thank you. Bella took it listlessly and lowered her head, looking as if she had a lot on her mind. What's wrong with you today? You look down. I'm fine. Bella said she was fine, but she was still thinking about what just happened. Then, she took 2 small sips of coffee and looked up at Jixin. Director Jing, President Qin, and Huamin, how are they doing? What are you talking about? Jixin asked. Their relationship. Why do I feel like President Qin has been working overtime a lot lately? Are they having a fight? I'm not sure. I haven't seen my sister recently, but I heard from my mom that she just went to our house. She seems to be in good shape. She should be fine. What's wrong? Did you notice something? No, I'm just asking. Don't think too much. Bella smiled and didn't say much to Jixin. But just now, Zhang Manlin's actions and President Qin's abandonment of the meeting and getting into the ambulance with her, Bella felt like this wasn't President Qin's usual style. If he wanted to sign the documents, he could have sent a company manager or something. There was no need for him to do it himself. Inside the ambulance, other than the unconscious female colleague, only Zhang Manlin and Qin Chu were in the ambulance. There was a driver in the front, but because the ambulance was soundproof, they couldn't hear what they were saying. Why are you working at Southside? Are you a doctor? Qin Chu asked. I'm not. I'm just the finance manager in the office. Then how did you follow the ambulance? Qin Chu continued to ask. It's because our hospital has been overcrowded recently, and we don't have enough ambulances. When I received the call, this was the only ambulance left in the hospital, and we don't have enough doctors. Those who need to perform surgery, those who need to go to the scene have to go to the scene. I happen to have nothing to do, and I've also learned some first aid knowledge, so I thought I'd come over to help and not delay the patient's condition. I didn't expect you to know so much. It's just a hobby. Then the two stopped talking. Zhang Manlin lowered her head and looked at the patient. Her movements were very standard, and she didn't look like an amateur at all. Unlike other women, she did not place her gaze on Qin Chu, nor did she act like a love-struck fool. When Zhang Manlin came out, she was wearing a white coat, but inside, she was still wearing the red checkered skirt that she usually wore to work. It couldn't hide her cuteness. Qin Chu just looked at her quietly, then turned his head to look out the window and didn't say anything. When they arrived at the hospital, Qin Chu signed the documents, and Zhang Manlin took the surgery form. Thank you, President Qin. Then, she turned around and left without saying anything else. Qin Chu wanted to go upstairs to see Huamian, but he looked down at his watch and realized he was running out of time. Then he turned around and walked out of the lobby. Huamin happened to come out from his shift and accidentally saw Qin Chu's back. Slightly stunned, she picked up her phone and dialed Qin Chu's number. Chapter 2507. Qin Chu walked out and hailed a taxi. As soon as he got in, his phone rang. Mian. Honey, where are you? I'm outside your hospital. Why didn't you tell me? No, it's an emergency. I have a meeting later, so I didn't tell you. Oh, I see. Huamin sounded slightly disappointed. What's wrong? Nothing, I just came out of the ward rounds and saw you're back in the lobby, so I'm just asking. Okay, I'll see you tonight. After hanging up the phone, Huamian walked to the reception desk at the door. The two nurses didn't see Huamian and were busy gossiping. Hey, did you see President Qin send Zhang Manlin back? Yeah, Zhang Manlin is really something. Ever since she came to our hospital, all the male doctors have been seduced by her. I heard that Chief Jiang from the Department of Anesthesiology wanted to treat her to dinner yesterday, but he was rejected. Really? Chief Jiang is a famous rich man. He looks very old-fashioned and doesn't talk to women much. That's right. Yeah, that's why I said Zhang Manlin isn't a simple person. She's just a finance officer, so why is she showing off all the time? She even took the initiative to perform emergency treatment. I was wondering why she was so kind. Now, it turns out that GK Corporation is the one making the call. I don't know what she did, but she managed to seduce President Qin. Didn't you see how reluctant they were when they were chatting outside the operating room? I think President Qin is interested in her. Don't talk nonsense. President Qin is Vice Director Hua's husband. I'm not talking nonsense. Isn't this very normal? Although our Vice President is very outstanding, most men are the same. After eating for a long time, they will get sick of it. It's normal to change their tastes occasionally. The flowers at home are not as fragrant as the wildflowers. That can't be. The Vice President and her husband have a very good relationship. Their child is already several years old. It's because it's been a few years that the initial passion is gone. Most men nowadays cheat on their wives after they've been married for a few years. Have you heard of anyone cheating on their wives right after they've been married? After all, Boss Qin is a human, not a god. We can't be too optimistic. You're right, it's hard to say. But let's stay away from Zhang Manlin. What if she stole our boyfriend? Yes, I think so too. Let's be on guard. The two nurses were so engrossed in their conversation that they didn't notice that Huamin was not far behind them. When Huamin walked over, they saw him and felt very embarrassed. Vice Dean. Yeah, how's the patient that GK sent over? Huamin was more concerned about the patient than the gossip. He's already in surgery. I heard it's a myocardial infarction. Okay, I'll go take a look. Huamin didn't ask the nurses about the gossip between Qin Chu and Zhang Manlin. Instead, Huamin headed upstairs to the operating room. When he went upstairs, he saw Zhang Manlin and a nurse sitting at the door. Manlin, how are you so good? I saw President Qin personally send the patient here today. Yeah, President Qin is actually a good person. He's not as fierce as he looks. You guys don't know him, so you think he's always cold. No, everyone says that President Qin only smiles at our vice director and doesn't look at other women. Really? Then I really didn't notice. Anyway, I think President Qin is a good person. Zhang Manlin took a sip of water and smiled. Just then, the nurse sitting across from her saw Huamin. Her expression immediately changed and she stood up. Vice Director Hua. At that moment, Zhang Manlin turned around as well. Chapter 2508. I just remembered that Dr. Li asked me to come get something. I have to go. When the nurse saw Huamin, she immediately found an excuse and left. Huamin put his hands in his pockets and walked to the door of the OR. Zhang Manlin was still sitting there. How's the patient? I thought you'd ask me about our conversation. Zhang Manlin looked at Huamin calmly. You're overthinking it. I'm a doctor. My job is to care for the patient. So you don't care about the rumors between your husband and other people? If they say it's rumors, then it's definitely not true. I believe in my own husband. Really? Vice Director Hua, I'm impressed by your magnanimity. But, are you sure you're not lying to yourself? Zhang Manlin, right? If I remember correctly, you're just a small accountant in our hospital. You're not in the office doing reports during working hours. Instead, you're talking outside the OR. Is that really okay? Aren't you afraid that I'll fire you? Fire me? You won't. Vice Director Hua has always been impartial. I don't think you'll fire me. You sound like you know me very well. Huamin looked at her expressionlessly. Don't you think we're very similar? Zhang Manlin asked Huamin with a smile. What are you talking about? Looks or character? Huamin's words were sharp. Before Zhang Manlin could say anything, Huamin chuckled again. If it's looks, then there's nothing to be curious about. The world is so big, there's bound to be people who look alike. My looks are very common, and I'm not a celebrity. There's no benefit in you looking like me. It just means that you're very plain, just like me. Vice Director Hua, you're so humorous when you're making fun of yourself. Zhang Manlin looked at Huamin with a complicated expression. I'm not being humorous. I'm just stating the facts. If it's character, then I won't talk about it. After all, I don't know you. But I don't think any boss would compare character with their subordinates. Am I right? That's right. Vice Director, you're indeed a smart person. I'm impressed, Zhang Manlin praised. There's no need to admire me. Put away your tricks. I don't care why you came to Southside, and I don't care who ordered you to do this. In short, you won't achieve your goal. Don't waste your time. Really? Some things haven't been done yet, so how would you know the results? Zhang Manlin continued to provoke her. Why don't you give it a try? But don't regret it in the end. Maybe the vice director is the one who will regret it. Zhang Manlin was not convinced. All right, I'll wait for the day when I regret it. Bring it on. Huamin's lips curled into a contemptuous smile before he turned around. Looking at Huamin's clean back, Zhang Manlin's eyes became deep. She is indeed a different woman, Zhang Manlin murmured to herself. That night, Huamin, who was about to get off work, suddenly worked overtime because of the sudden surgery. When he came out of the surgery, it was already 9 p.m. Vice Director, you should go home and rest. Leave the patient to us. The assistant nurse looked at Huamin with concern. No, his condition is complicated. There's internal bleeding in his chest. I'm afraid it's dangerous. Li, go get Dr. Liu and Dr. Zhao for me. I need to discuss a plan with them. We might need to perform a second surgery. Yes, Vice Director. Huamin didn't come back until 9 p.m. Qin Chu brought the twins and his parents to the living room to chat and watch TV. Daddy, it's so late. Why aren't you worried? Why don't you go and pick her up? Little Bean sat in Qin Chu's arms and whined. Chapter 2509. Mommy is working overtime. She has an operation, Qin Chu explained patiently. Daddy, I don't want to criticize you, but I think you've been a bit cold to Mommy lately. Qin Chu didn't know how to answer Little Bean's question. So you have another woman outside? Little Bean asked with a dark face. Pudding secretly gave her sister a thumbs up. Little Bean liked to shoot her mouth off, so it wasn't strange for her to ask such a question. Little Bean, what are you talking about? Is Daddy that kind of person? Daddy, then it's fine. Qin Chu raised his eyebrows, thinking that he still had some trust in his daughter. But Little Bean's next sentence made him speechless again. Daddy isn't that kind of person, but those women outside are. In today's society, the internet is so advanced. Let me tell you, Momo, WeChat, people nearby, message in a bottle, all kinds of channels. Daddy is the richest man in the city, handsome, from a good family, and rich, so of course he's the target of those vixens. No matter how good a man is, he can't resist being seduced. When a woman is shameless, it's scary. Let me tell you. Qin Chu was speechless. Daddy, are you listening? Yes, Daddy is listening. Qin Chu nodded seriously. Little Bean continued to scold him, but Daddy, you have to remember that those women are only after your money or your looks. They're not sincere. In this world, only Mommy, the two of us, and Grandma. Oh, right, and Auntie, only our family truly loves you, understand? Mr. Qin nodded again, listening to his daughter's lecture. You and Mommy have known each other for so many years. After being together for so long, it's inevitable that you'll feel bored. That's understandable, but you have to be careful. Also, let me tell you, not only are you popular, but Mommy isn't an old housewife either. Little Bean's saliva flew everywhere as she spoke, her chubby little hands gesturing. She was extremely cute. Qin Chu held back his laughter. He crossed his arms and leaned on the sofa, listening to his daughter's nagging. For the first time, Pudding felt that her sister's nagging was very useful, so she took the initiative to hand her a red strawberry. Thank you. Little Bean took the strawberry and continued to lecture him while eating it. Then what's your mommy? Qin Chu asked with a smile. Mommy is a genius. She was already famous in the city when she was only a teenager. Although she didn't go to a famous university, she's self-taught and is now a top doctor. It's amazing that she became the vice director of the hospital at such a young age. Although Mommy isn't stunning enough, she's cultured, smart, calm, and doesn't talk nonsense. She's loyal and kind. Although she's sometimes fierce to me and my sister, I know that it's for our own good. There's only one woman like her in the world. You make it sound like Daddy is the only one in the world. Qin Chu laughed. Daddy, it's a limited edition too. That's why I said you two are a perfect match. Don't give other people a chance. Also, I'm telling you, if you neglect mommy and someone takes advantage of you, you won't even be able to find a reason to cry. You know, not only is handsome Sue interested in mommy, but so is that big bad Huasiqian. Oh, right, I heard that a lot of male doctors at Southside also have a crush on mommy. Daddy, you have a treasure in your hands, you should cherish it. Yeah, you have a point. Qin Chu nodded purposely to play along with his daughter. So, hurry up and give birth to a younger brother. That way, we'll have someone to take the blame for us. Little Bean was so pleased with herself that she let it slip. What did you say? Qin Chu narrowed his eyes. Chapter 25:10. Pudding saw that the situation was not good, so she ran over and interrupted. Daddy, what Little Bean means is that you two are so close now, so you should strike while the iron is hot and give birth to a little brother. Our family will be so happy together. I heard her say something about being the scapegoat. Qin Chu wouldn't let it go. Little Bean hid behind her sister guiltily. Daddy, you misunderstood. Little Bean means that no one wants to be the scapegoat. If you two don't have a second child, people will think that we don't want to be the scapegoat. That's why she said we don't want to be the scapegoat. Oh, I see. Qin Chu nodded thoughtfully. Little Bean heaved a sigh of relief and secretly hugged her sister's waist. Pudding, you're still the best. So, Daddy, do you want to listen to us? Of course. Qin Chu nodded. That's great. Then you have to be nicer to mommy. Seeing that their daddy's attitude was so good, the twins were overjoyed. Daddy, why don't you make some supper for mommy? She'll be so touched when she comes back, Little Bean suggested. Is that necessary? Wouldn't that be too obvious? Qin Chu laughed. I think it's necessary. Let's move her a little, Pudding chimed in. Finally, under the twins' encouragement, Mr. Qin went to the kitchen and made a bowl of noodles with soy sauce. By the time he was done, it was already past 10 o'clock. The twins were sleepy and were taken to bed by their grandma. Qin Chu sat downstairs for a while. Seeing that Huamin wasn't back yet, he called her but found that her phone was turned off. Finally, Qin Chu couldn't take it anymore and went upstairs to sleep. When Huamin came out of the operating room, she was exhausted. Associate Director, do you want to eat something? I'll go to the cafeteria and ask someone to prepare something for you. The doctor who performed the surgery with Huamin felt sorry for him. There's no need for that. I'll just take a bite when I get home later. You guys have been working hard all day. Pack up and get off work. Send the patient directly to the intensive care unit. Let the nurse on duty keep an eye on him and keep an eye on him. Call me immediately if anything happens. All right, thank you for your hard work. Huamin returned to his office and poured himself a glass of water. He took 2 big gulps before he felt a little better. He took out his phone and saw that it had run out of battery and shut down automatically. She turned around and took off her white coat. Just as she was about to take her coat and go out, she heard someone knocking on the door. Come in. Dr. Hua. Dr. Lu, it's so late. You're still at work? Lu Zhe was slightly surprised to see him. Yes, I received an emergency case and was busy the whole night. I heard that you also have a major surgery here. Yes, I just finished. You haven't eaten anything yet, right? I'm hungry too, so I ordered some food for you. Lu Zhe placed the food bag on the table as he spoke. It's okay, you're too kind. It's okay. But, do you mind if I eat with you? I'm afraid of being alone. It makes me feel a lot better when I have someone to talk to during dinner. Although Huamin didn't want to, he couldn't refuse Lu Zhe's invitation. Have a seat. In the end, Huamin had no choice but to sit down and eat with Lu Zhe. When he opened it, he realized that it was Xianxia's ramen. Was this a coincidence, or? Xianxia's ramen is your favorite, right? Lu Zhe asked with a smile. How did you know? Huamin looked at him cautiously with an unfriendly gaze. Chapter 25:11. Lu Zhe smiled. I don't have many good points, but I do have a good memory. When I was studying at second high, I often saw you eating at Xianxia's ramen on the street behind the school. At that time, I thought that girls like ramen. Yes, it's cheap and affordable. I really like it. Huamin nodded. Yes, that's why I thought it would suit your taste. But I don't remember Xianxia's ramen delivering food. Huamian went there often, and she knew that the place was so busy that they didn't have time to deliver food. Plus, Xianxia's ramen was really far from South Side, so it remained to be seen how Lu Zhe got his noodles. I drove there to buy it. So, Dr. Lu, you're trying so hard to please me. Do you have something you want me to do for you? Huamin asked directly. If I say no, wouldn't it be illogical? Lu Zhe asked. Okay, then I'll ask Vice Director Hua to take care of me when I'm working. After all, I'm a new doctor. Dr. Lu, you must be joking. You're a medical doctor who returned from overseas. It's a waste for our hospital to keep you. Even President Wu praised you. You don't need me to take care of you. Okay, I'm just joking. Hurry up and eat before it gets cold. Lu Zhe picked up his chopsticks and was about to eat when Huamin said, Wait. What's wrong? He didn't understand. I'll eat your bowl. There's too much in this bowl. I can't finish it all. Huamin pushed the bowl in front of her to Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe smiled and only said one word. In fact, he knew that Huamin couldn't bear to eat his food, so she swapped with him at the last minute. It seemed that this woman was very defensive. For some reason, Huamin didn't think that ramen tasted as good as it did in the restaurant. Although the taste was the same, the environment and atmosphere were different. After the two finished their noodles, Huamin changed out of his casual clothes and drove away from South Side. Lu Zhe didn't say much to Huamin. He felt that getting to know Huamin wasn't a simple matter. It had to be done gradually. Southern District Gate. After Huamin drove the white Porsche away, a black Mercedes-Benz 600 stopped not far away. It appeared rather mysterious in the night. Boss, Miss Hua and Qin Chu have been going out early and coming home late recently. They don't seem to be as close as they used to be. Heh, this is just the beginning. The best part is yet to come. What's the rush? Huasiqian played with a lighter in his hand. Boss, but if we go according to the plan, I think Miss Hua will be very pitiful. She will be ostracized. She will feel abandoned by the whole world. She will feel disappointed. That's the result I want. This subordinate does not understand. The young man in the car was Huasiqian's confidant, but this time, he really didn't understand his boss's move. Usually his boss doted on Miss Hua the most. If anyone said anything bad about her, he would be the first to get angry. But now, how could his boss bear to, Qing, you don't need to understand. I only want the result. It doesn't matter if the process is difficult. Since this is my final trump card, I have to win beautifully. Yes. Let's go. Tonight is a good day. I want to drink a bottle of red wine to celebrate. After speaking, the black Mercedes-Benz slowly started to move. Qin Chu's phone began to receive a short video from the mysterious number. It was the kind that only had images and no sound. In the video, Huamin and Lu Zhe were eating noodles in the office. The takeout bag had the words, Xianxia's ramen, printed clearly on it. Qin Chu only watched quietly without saying anything. Chapter 25:12. By the time Huamian drove home, her family was already asleep. She quietly opened the door, and the housekeeper, Uncle Li, immediately walked over. A young lady, you're back? Yeah, Uncle Li, you should go to bed. Young master prepared supper for you. It's still in the kitchen. Do you want me to heat it up for you? Mr. Qin prepared supper for me? Huamin froze. Uncle Li nodded. What is it? Huamin asked curiously. Zhajiang noodles. What day is it today? Huamin racked her brains, but she couldn't remember what day it was. A young lady, do you want some? Yeah, I'll make it myself. Uncle Li, it's late, you should go to bed. Since it was late, Huamin didn't want to bother the old man. She put down her bag and quietly walked into the kitchen. As expected, there were 10,000 Zhajiang noodles in front of her. Mr. Qin had always been good at making things. When the two of them first registered their marriage in secret, Mr. Qin often made things in Imperial Park. Of course, she would cook occasionally, but it wasn't as good as Mr. Qin's. Now that she thought about it, they were both busy, and that simple and warm life was gone. Huamin sighed in her heart, and then she picked up her chopsticks and took a few bites. Although she ate ramen with Lu Zhe at night, she didn't really eat it. She just ate it for show. Now that Mr. Qin made noodles with love, she was very touched. She didn't care that the noodles were cold, and she carefully chewed and swallowed. She didn't leave a single strand. After she was full, she went upstairs, satisfied. When she passed by the twins' room, she gently pushed open the door. Huamian smiled when she saw that the two girls were fast asleep. Then she went back to the master bedroom, changed into her pajamas, and took a shower. When she came out, it was already past midnight. The entire city was plunged into darkness. Huamin tiptoed onto the bed and covered herself with the blanket. She didn't dare to touch Mr. Qin, who was fast asleep. She was afraid that he wouldn't sleep well. When she lay down, she felt a pair of strong hands behind her, naturally caressing her waist. He just hugged her from behind. Huamin's heart warmed. She thought that Qin Chu would say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. She didn't dare to turn around to ask if he was awake or half asleep. "Good night, hubby." Her voice was very soft. Pakistan dressed in local clothes, Lu Yen and Xiao Fei walked through the streets arrogantly. "How long are we going to stay here?" Xiao Fei asked seriously. "What? Have you had enough? This place is filled with explosions and war. Is it really suitable for us to stay here?" Xiao Fei was puzzled. "Idiot, the most dangerous place is the safest place. Ian's headquarters is right here, so let's just stay here. Anyway, he probably won't expect us to come to his nest to play. But they are not fools. Once our whereabouts are exposed, it will be very dangerous." "Danger? You think I'm scared?" Lu Yen wandered around the black market. She randomly picked up a black Type 54 pistol and disassembled it in 2 seconds. "It's not a matter of whether you're scared or not. There's no point in wasting time like this." "Who said I'm wasting time? I have a plan," Lu Yen mumbled. "Plan? Xiao Fei, I received a tip that Ian has a batch of the most advanced weapons developed by the military factory. They will arrive here tonight." Lu Yen smiled wickedly. "What do you want?" Xiao Fei had a feeling that Lu Yan's plan was up to no good. Chapter 25:13. Take a guess. Lu Yan stuck out her tongue playfully. Xiao Fei knew that this girl was up to no good. "Why are you looking at me like that? Take a guess. Do I even need to guess? You definitely want to intercept this batch of firearms." Smart. Lu Yen poked Xiao Fei's head with her index finger and smiled. "Yen listen to me. This is not a game, we can't mess around. First of all, this is Ian's nest. If his men fire a shot, both of us will be turned into thieves. Secondly, this batch of firearms is very important. If Ian loses it, he won't let us go. Lastly, the two of us are weak right now. A strong dragon can't suppress a snake in its nest. Is it really okay for us to court death in other people's territory?" Ever since Xiao Fei got together with Lu Yen, his life had been crazy. There wasn't a single day of peace and tranquility. Basically, they had to spend every day in a hail of bullets. In the past few days, they had killed at least 80, if not 100 killers. They had also shaken off Ian's men in batches, including the people from the Indonesian government. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that they were surrounded by enemies. However, Lu Yen seemed to be enjoying it. Every day, she was still thinking about how to go against Ian and how to make him feel uncomfortable. "Okay, I like to mess around. What do you think? If not, you should go back to Russia." This was the sentence Lu Yen said the most these days. Whenever she disagreed with Xiao Fei, she would tell him to go back to Russia. "Xiao Fei, you're both Professor Lu's daughters, but you're so different from Sister Mian." Finally, Xiao Fei gave a fair evaluation. To his surprise, Lu Yen only glanced at his face and replied, "Of course, the dragon has 9 sons, and they're all different. My sister and I are different. My sister is a Pishio, and I'm a Taotai." "Ha, Xiao Fei, Xiao Fei didn't know what was wrong with him, but he fell in love with a troublemaker like Lu Yan. But since he fell in love with her, he didn't plan on changing. Although he didn't agree with Lu Yan taking the risk to intercept this batch of firearms, as long as it was something she wanted to do, Xiao Fei was willing to do it with her. Lu Yan kept in touch with her subordinates with her watch and got the latest news as soon as possible. Psycho Xiao, I've already planned everything out. Tonight at 10 o'clock, this batch of goods will arrive at the abandoned factory in the east on time. There will be about 30 people who will receive the goods, but I'm not sure who will deliver the goods. After they receive the goods, when the two groups separate, we'll ambush them on the road. I'll use the explosives that we've planted beforehand to blow up their cars. Then, when those lackeys get out of the car in a panic to check, I'll open fire here to attract their attention. You'll take the opportunity to get in the car from behind and drive it away to the barren mountain 5 kilometers away. After I've dealt with them, I'll meet you there. Then, we won't be able to leave Pakistan with these things. They're too big of a target. Xiao Fei was worried about how to transport the goods out after they were taken away. I don't plan to let them leave, Lu Yan said. Then what do you plan to do? Dismantle them all and throw them into the sea as scrap metal, Lu Yan said without hesitation. Xiao Fei, so, you stole this batch of goods just for fun? Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yan, speechless. Chapter 25:14. No, I did it to annoy Ian. Okay, you win, Xiao Fei said quietly. But Yen, that batch of goods is good equipment. Can you really bear to throw it into the sea? Xiao Fei still felt that it was a pity. Calm down, I can research that kind of equipment in minutes. Ian, that country bumpkin, has never seen anything good, so he thinks everything he sees is a treasure. Xiao Fei was speechless. In today's world, other than Lu Yan, there was no one else who dared to call Ian a country bumpkin. So, Xiao Fei secretly gave Lu Yan a nickname, the Queen of Death. She was definitely looking for death, and she was looking for death in all sorts of ways. On an island in Indonesia, Ian was sunbathing with the mistress of a Colombian drug lord. Ian, I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with you. The woman with a great figure was lying on a beach chair, letting Ian apply sunscreen to her body. Her tan skin looked very elastic, and her blue floral bikini shone in the summer. That's what all the women around me say. Ian smiled. What an egomaniac. All right, is there any progress in the development of the new heroine? The old man is still waiting for your news, and he has a lot of stock in his hands. Hearing this, Ian raised his hand and touched his nose. Sorry, honey, there's really no progress. Professor Lu refuses to show up, so I can't get in touch with him. His daughter is also a headache. Other than the father and daughter of the Lu family, is there no one else who can do this? Currently, there's no one. Medical geniuses are hard to come by, Ian answered honestly. So, this is why you can't bear to kill that woman, Lu Yan? That's not entirely true. Lu Yan is quite cute. Ian chuckled at the thought of Lu Yan's naughty side. At this time, his subordinate hurried over to report. But, speak. Our batch of goods in Pakistan, 0901, was, go on. Ian put down the sunscreen in his hand and turned around. It was robbed. Ian frowned slightly after hearing this. He was robbed? Very well, in Pakistan, my own territory. With so many people watching, you were actually taken away right under their noses. All of you can go and die. When Ian was extremely angry, he was calm, so the subordinate was so scared that he fell to his knees. Sir, please spare our lives. The problem is that the opponent this time is too cunning. We can't guard against them. Let's hear it. Who dares to touch my things? Ian picked up a cigar and took a puff. The big smoke circle made the subordinate unable to open his eyes. It was a spicy smell. We're not sure either, but, if I'm not wrong, it should be. Second young miss who did it. Second miss? Great, it's Lu Yan again. Ian laughed in exasperation. The second miss has been active in Pakistan recently, but her whereabouts are very mysterious and unpredictable. You don't have to say it. I know Lu Yan's personality. If she doesn't want to be found by you, she has many ways. What should we do now? Lu Yen wouldn't be able to transport such a large batch of goods, would she? Ian asked with a smile. So, you guys need to be smart. Lock down the whole city and pay attention to the movements. If there's even the slightest movement, immediately arrest them. Boss. At this time, another subordinate came over with a phone and said respectfully, "Boss, it's Mr. Hua." Chapter 25:15. Give it to me. The subordinate carefully handed the phone to Ian. Ian took the phone. Hua, Master Ian. How is it? Did you find her? Ian really wanted to find Professor Lu's other daughter right now. Not yet. So you called me to talk nonsense with me? Ian asked with a cold smile. I called to ask if you have any news about Miss Hua. What does that have to do with you? Ian frowned slightly. I'm afraid that Miss Hua will get in the way if I find her. After all, the Lu family must know where she is. You mean the Lu family has been secretly protecting her? Ian asked. That's very possible. Hua Xiqian was deliberately mystifying. If that's what you're afraid of, then don't worry. Lu Yen is in Pakistan and can't be in two places at once. She won't mess things up with you. Then I'm relieved. The 1-month deadline will be up soon. I don't want you to go back on your word. If you can't find her by then, I'll find her even if I have to massacre the entire sea city. As for you, don't think that you'll be fine just because Nalo treats you well. I didn't think that. Anyways, I'll do my best. Don't worry. Hua Xiqian smiled. Then he hung up. Boss, are we really going to do what Mr. Ian said and hand her over? Cheng asked anxiously. I have my own plans. Did you tell her what I asked you to tell her? Hua Xiqian asked. Yeah. She said she understands and will do as you say. But, is a month enough time? Cheng asked. It's enough. It takes less than a month to drive a wedge between a couple. But Hua Mian is smart and difficult to deal with, then Miss Hua will have a hard time during this time. It's okay, I'll end everything soon. When the time comes, I'll be by her side forever and won't let her suffer anymore, Hua Xiqian said as he picked up Hua Min's photo. His eyes were filled with love. He always believed that no one else in this world loved Hua Min as much as he did. GK headquarters, President Qin, sister's son from the IT department wants to see you, Bella reported. Let her in. Qin Chu lowered his head and signed stacks of documents without looking up. The woman who came in was about 40 years old. She looked gentle and elegant, wearing a black sweater and red wide-legged pants. She had a good temperament. Chairman Qin. You are? When Qin Chu saw this woman, he couldn't remember her at all. Because there were too many people in the company, he couldn't remember any of the other employees except for the higher-ups who often attended meetings. President Qin, I'm Sun Xiaoxiao, the one who was hospitalized a few days ago because of a heart attack. Oh, what's the matter? Here's the thing. I heard that you carried me to the ambulance and saved me in time. My family and I are very grateful to you, so after work tonight, we booked a table at Mu Mansion restaurant and invited you to dinner. I know you're very busy, but I really want to thank you. Oh, I also invited Miss Xiang who saved me at the hospital that day. She's been very good and took care of me for the past few days. What time? Qin Chu asked. Qin Chu was about to say no, but when he heard the woman mention Miss Xiang, probably Zhang Manlin, he changed his mind. Chapter 25:16. Oh, so you're saying yes? The woman was overjoyed. I'm asking what time? 6 o'clock, room 808 of the Wood Mansion. Okay, I got it. You can leave now. Thank you, President Qin. Sun Xiaoxiao thought that President Qin wouldn't give her face. After all, she was just a small employee at GK's headquarters. She didn't expect President Qin to agree. Her mood improved a lot. When it was almost time to get off work, Bella knocked on the door and walked in. President Qin, you have an exclusive interview with Time magazine at 6:30 tonight. Cancel it for me. Assistant Yang booked it for you when she was here. She said it's a good interview. It's okay, I'm busy tonight. Okay. When is Assistant Yang coming back? Xianxia asked. She's still recovering. It'll be at least 2 months, Bella replied. Okay, I got it. You can leave now. Okay, President Qin. Dr. Fan from the neurology department was supposed to be on duty today, but her daughter had a high fever and had to go home to take care of her. Huamin was supposed to get off work, so he stayed behind to take over her shift. Around 6:30, Huamin had just walked out of the cafeteria after dinner when he heard a few nurses talking loudly. Hey, did you guys see Zhang Manlin's post? No, I don't have her WeChat. I just saw her post on WeChat. Guess who she's having dinner with now? Who? I promise you won't be able to guess. Don't be surprised if I tell you. She's with President Qin. President Qin? Which President Qin? What's wrong with you guys? Who else could it be? Of course, it's the big boss of GK. But, isn't that our vice director's husband? Yeah, you're right. The vice director probably doesn't know yet. I saw her working overtime in the cafeteria tonight. She probably didn't know that her husband was having dinner with another woman. Yeah, my heart aches when I see the vice director. Zhang Manlin looks nice, but I don't think she's as nice as the vice director. Men, you really think about it day and night. The vice president has already given birth to 2 children, yet you still want to go out and cheat. Maybe it's because she wants a son. Who knows? Anyway, isn't it normal for rich families to do such things? That's true. But if I were the vice principal, I would take the opportunity to get together with Lord Su. Anyway, Lord Su has pursued the vice principal for so long. The husband and wife should just go their separate ways. The nurses were all born in the 90s, so their thinking was also avant-garde. They spoke without thinking, and most of what they said was just to gossip. When Huamin heard this, he couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. She leaned against the remote corridor of the hospital and took out her cell phone to call Xianxia. Hubby, what happened? Where are you? I miss you a little. Huamin smiled. I'm outside. Outside? Talking business? Huamin asked deliberately. I'm having dinner with a colleague. Xianxia glanced at Sun Xiaoxiao, who was sitting across from him, and said faintly, Oh, you're busy then. What happened? Did something happen? Xianxia asked. Nothing. I'm on duty at the hospital. I'm fine. I just suddenly miss you. Huamin hung up. Just then, Zhang Manlin sat beside Xianxia and asked half-jokingly, What happened, President Qin? Did our vice director call to check on you? Chapter 25:17. My wife never checks on me. She trusts me a lot, Xianxia replied slowly. Before Zhang Manlin could say anything, Sun Xiaoxiao added, Yeah, President Qin and a young lady are recognized as the model couple in our company. They really love each other. Love has a shelf life. Once it's over, the novelty is gone, and people can't support it anymore. At this time, many people will fight over small things, have cold wars, and even divorce. Couples who haven't experienced this may seem calm on the surface, but in their hearts, this love has silently turned into family. After a few years, some men lose their willpower and go out to find new love. After all, they can no longer find that feeling in their wife. So, at this time, many families will face the crisis of adultery. Zhang Manlin spoke clearly and logically. Sun Xiaoxiao, with her IQ, couldn't get a word in edgewise. Xianxia didn't even look at her and asked calmly, Miss Zhang, you seem to know a lot. Those who know you are in finance, those who don't know would think you are a relationship expert. Ha, President Qin, you are so humorous. We girls like to gossip. I also like to check Weibo when I have nothing to do. So, naturally, I see more things and understand things better than others. President Qin, please eat something. You haven't eaten anything since you came in. We ordered so much, I don't know if it's to your liking. Sun Xiaoxiao was very nervous, afraid that she wouldn't be able to serve her boss well. The dishes on the table were actually very good. She even ordered extravagant lobsters and hairy crabs. Xianxia ate very slowly. He only took a few bites of vegetables and lowered his head. His side profile was very good-looking. Zhang Manlin couldn't help but steal a few glances. Then, Zhang Manlin generously picked up a hairy crab and ate it as if there was no one else around. I love seafood. When I was young, I would go to the river in the countryside to catch some crayfish. At that time, my family didn't have the means to eat these precious seafood. When I grew up and started working, I was willing to buy some. Last time, my mom came to visit me and laughed at me, saying that I should find a man who sells seafood and marry him, Zhang Manlin said. Miss Zhang's mom is very interesting. Sun Xiaoxiao played along. President Qin, do you like seafood? Zhang Manlin asked again. I don't eat a lot. I only eat with my wife when she eats. Your wife likes seafood too? Our vice director? Zhang Manlin asked in surprise. That's easy. Next time, if you want to bribe our vice director, just give her seafood. Zhang Manlin half-joked. As a young lady, it was a miracle that she was able to eat in front of strangers without being pretentious or bashful. Zhang Manlin was really easygoing. At least, Sun Xiaoxiao felt that she didn't try to get close to President Qin, nor did she have a pretentious illness. They got along quite well during the meal. President Qin, thank you and Miss Zhang again for saving my life. Sun Xiaoxiao raised her glass. Qin Chu rarely drank, so he used tea in place of wine. Zhang Manlin, on the other hand, drank quite a bit. Her face was red from all the drinking. After the meal, Sun Xiaoxiao stood up and shouted, "Waiter, the bill please." Mr. Qin has already bought it. The attendant smiled. President Qin, I said it was my treat. How can I accept this? Sun Xiaoxiao was a bit flattered. It's okay. I don't have the habit of letting women spend money. Let's go. When the three of them walked out, Qin Chu walked in the front. Zhang Manlin was a bit dizzy because she suddenly stumbled forward. Luckily, Sun Xiaoxiao held her back. Miss Zhang, are you okay? I'm fine, huh? Where do you live? I'll drive you back, Sun Xiaoxiao said. My house is in the same direction as our vice director's house, huh? After she said this, President Qin stopped and turned around to look at her. Chapter 25:18. You live in the new city on the south side? Qin Chu asked. Yeah, but your house is in the famous wealthy area, South Hill Manor. Mine is in the slum area, the area that hasn't been developed yet. The houses there are cheap, the rent is less than 1,000 yuan, huh? President Qin. Sun Xiaoxiao wanted to ask if he should drive Miss Zhang home. But when the words came to her mouth, she felt that it wasn't appropriate, so she swallowed them back. Since it's on the way, you can come with me. Qin Chu continued walking in front of her. Zhang Manlin appeared to be drunk, but when she lowered her head, a bright smile appeared on her face. Zhang Manlin got into Qin Chu's black Bentley. After the car started, Sun Xiaoxiao went home. Evening, South Hill Manor. Daddy, why are you back so late? Little Bean ran to Qin Chu as soon as he walked in. I ate a mouthful of food outside. Mommy isn't back yet. Your mommy is on duty today. She won't be back, Qin Chu explained. But I miss her so much. Can you take us to see her? Qin Chu asked. Yeah, we can make soup with love and send it to Mommy. She'll be so touched, Little Bean suggested. Daddy, Little Bean is right. Pudding walked over and pressured her daddy. But it's very late now. It's not convenient to go now. You two should go to bed. No, I want to see Mommy. Little Bean's stubbornness made Qin Chu helpless. He didn't even have time to change before his two daughters forced him to drive to South Side. The twins sat in the back seat with the soup in their hands. They were very happy. Daddy, why do you smell like perfume? Pudding suddenly asked. Qin Chu froze, then raised his arm and sniffed. No, baby, did you make a mistake? Don't wrongly accuse me. There's no mistake. I'm very sensitive to smells. Mommy has already abandoned this candy scent for more than 2 years. It's something that young girls like. Moreover, because it's an ending tone, it's not very obvious. However, I can still smell it immediately. It's a limited edition candy perfume from Jenny Banner. So the person you're having dinner with today is a woman, right? And a young woman at that. And yes. Qin Chu couldn't help but nod with a smile. Daddy, you still have the nerve to laugh? Tell me, whose daughter did you eat with? No, they're just colleagues at the company. Don't overthink it. Qin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry after being interrogated by his two darlings. By the time they arrived at Southside, it was already past 10 p.m. Huamin had just returned from his ward rounds. At the door of the office, Lu Zhe was carrying Xianxia's ramen. Dr. Hua, here's your supper. Dr. Lu, you're too polite. There's really no need. Eat, I like it too. If you feel bad, you can give me money. 2 yuan per bowl, thank you. Lu Zhe smiled and extended his hand. He really didn't need to give 2 yuan. Huamin knew that he was joking. Not far away, Qin Chu and his 2 daughters quietly watched this scene. What did I see? Is that ugly male doctor trying to flirt with my mommy? Little Bean asked. I didn't know something like that would happen. How melodramatic. Pudding sighed. Qin Chu didn't say anything. He just held the soup and watched everything quietly. Mommy, Little Bean called out sweetly and then ran over to Huamin. Huamin and Lu Zhe both turned around. Chapter 25:19. Little Bean, why are you here? Seeing his daughter, Huamin's eyes flashed with gentleness. Daddy, sis, and I are here to bring Mommy some sweet soup. This is your daughter? She's so cute. Lu Zhe smiled. Yeah. Huamin nodded. So, Uncle. Little Bean looked at Lu Zhe obediently and greeted him. Baby, you're so cute. How old are you? Are you in kindergarten? Uncle, you're cute too. How old are you? Do you have a boyfriend? Little Bean asked innocently. Boyfriend? Lu Zhe was suddenly at a loss for words. That's right. That's how it is on TV. Handsome and feminine men like you usually like men, so I won't ask you about your girlfriend. That's not your style. Let's just ask about your boyfriend, Little Bean said, pretending to be cute. After saying this, Lu Zhe's expression turned ugly. Little Bean, don't talk nonsense. Huamin scolded his daughter and then explained to Lu Zhe apologetically, don't take it to heart. My youngest daughter, she just likes to joke and tease people. Yeah, it's okay. She's just a child. Lu Zhe smiled awkwardly. At this time, Qin Chu walked over with Pudding holding her hand. Mommy, we brought you some sweet soup. Eat it while it's hot. Didn't Daddy say, it's not good to eat too much at night? Noodles and whatnot, it'll make your stomach uncomfortable. Pudding glanced at the 2 bowls of ramen in Lu Zhe's hands and said loudly on purpose. Okay, come with me to the office. Huamin then looked at Lu Zhe and said, Dr. Lu, I'm sorry. My husband and daughter are here. I have to go. Okay, Deputy Director. Lu Zhe smiled faintly as if he didn't mind. When Qin Chu walked past Lu Zhe, he didn't even look at him. It was as if he didn't exist. Inside Huamin's office, Huamin drank a few mouthfuls of the sweet soup under the loving gazes of her husband and daughter. Then she heard Qin Chu say, Pudding, take your sister to the door to play for a while. Daddy has something to say to Mommy. All right. Pudding nodded, turned around, and left the office with Little Bean. Huamin put the sweet soup aside and wiped the desk with a tissue. She got up and poured a cup of hot water for Qin Chu. Honey, is it cold outside? It's all right. You don't have to come so late in the future. It's too hard on you. Huamin smiled. Are you afraid that we will work hard, or are you afraid that we will disturb you? Qin Chu asked coldly. What do you mean? You know what I mean. I don't want to talk about it. Mr. Qin's tone was obviously not good. If you're angry because Dr. Lu brought me supper, then I have to explain. Don't misunderstand. Dr. Lu is a new doctor. There's nothing between us. Then why did he bring you supper when there are so many doctors in the hospital? What's even more ridiculous is that he even knows that you like to eat Xianxia's ramen. As far as I know, Xian's family doesn't deliver takeout, so he drove to the store to buy it. He went back and forth for 40 minutes and brought you your favorite food. Is this really a simple colleague relationship? What do you mean? Are you suspecting us of something? Huamin was a little angry. What else? I saw it with my own eyes. Am I wrong? Qin Chu asked. Very well. Since we're here today, I might as well ask you something. You said that you went to have dinner with your colleagues, but was it really just your colleagues? Or was it someone else that you didn't want to talk about? You investigated me? Qin Chu's eyes were filled with anger. Chapter 25:20. What a joke. Do I need to investigate you? The internet is so advanced now. The picture of you guys eating appeared on Zhang Manlin's WeChat moments and spread all over the hospital. Now, all the colleagues in the hospital are saying that Zhang Manlin is capable of inviting President Qin to dinner while I, the first wife, am still working overtime like an idiot. Ha. So what are you trying to say? I'm trying to say something. Don't suspect me all the time. Even if I say that there's something going on between you and Zhang Manlin, you won't like it, right? Just because of one meal, you suspect me and that irrelevant woman? Qin Chu was losing his patience. What about you? Just because of a bowl of ramen that I didn't accept, you suspect me and that new Dr. Lu? Huamin's voice was also very loud. It was obvious that she was also very agitated. At the door, the twins hadn't gone far, and they could hear their parents arguing clearly. Little Bean, sis, this is bad. I wanted to improve their relationship, so I suggested bringing Mommy some sweet soup. But, Pudding, it's not your fault. How did you know this would happen? Little Bean, yeah. Why did Dr. Lu show up and try to please Mommy? Daddy loves Mommy so much. He must be very jealous. Pudding, there's a big problem between Mommy and Daddy. I think even if today's incident didn't happen, they wouldn't be able to hold it in for much longer. Little Bean, what do you mean, sis? Did you find out something? Pudding, nothing. I just feel like something's wrong. Little Bean, I think so too. What are you worried about? They won't divorce, right? Pudding, are they married? Little Bean, Pudding, it's not a matter of divorce. We have to figure out what the problem is. Little Bean, I'm afraid that's a bit difficult. Mommy and Daddy don't like to talk much. It's not easy to ask them anything. Pudding, so we have to make a plan. I think we can ask Uncle Zhixin if there's anything strange going on at the company. Little Bean, what about South Side? Pudding, dummy. We have to ask Auntie Jie about South Side. Little Bean, yeah, I almost forgot about it. Sis, you're the best. But we should call her Auntie Jie now. After all, Auntie Jie is married to Uncle Ni Yang. Pudding, yeah, I think we can take the opportunity to ask Uncle Ni Yang when we go to his house. Little Bean, that's a good idea. Otherwise, I'd feel so exhausted seeing them arguing so fiercely. It's so worrying. Pudding, don't worry about it. After all, the adults have experienced more than us. But I will never allow a third party between Mommy and Daddy. Little Bean, even if that person is Handsome Sue? Pudding, of course, even if it's Handsome Sue. Daddy and Mommy are the best couple in the world. Little Bean, sis, your words are so powerful and domineering. I support you. The two sisters were not in the mood to play at all. They could clearly hear the argument between their daddy and Mommy. Little Bean's well-intentioned arrangement became the fuse for the argument between Qin Chu and Huamin. Finally, Qin Chu walked out with a livid face. Babies, come home with Daddy. Where's Mommy? Your Mommy is busy. Don't worry about her. After speaking, Qin Chu strode out in front of them. The twins followed behind him in a bad mood. In the study of the Hua family mansion, Hua Xiqin wore a listening device and smiled proudly. I didn't expect them to argue so soon. Boss, it sounds like Miss Hua is crying in the office. Do you want to comfort her? I think she's a little fragile right now, Ah Ching asked. Chapter 25:21. No, it's not enough. I want to break Mion's heart before I take her away. Then, no one will be able to separate us. Boss, are you really leaving? What about your life's work here? My life's work is nothing. I've never cared about that. Everything I did was to be with Mion. What about the Hua Corporation? That's easy. I've already made arrangements for the Hua Corporation. Everything will be settled. Boss, Aching misses you. Of all the young men working for Huasiqian, Aching was the most loyal. He was also the smartest one Huasiqian had trained over the years. It's not like we won't see each other again. Why are you sad? I'll leave you some money. You can start your own business and live a good life. Boss, okay, I don't like to be emotional. Stop talking. Today is a good day. I should be happy. Yes, as long as you're happy, we're happy. Go and get me my precious red wine. I want to have a drink. Hua Xiqian was in a good mood at the Hua mansion. Qin Chu and Hua Min were in a bad mood because of their first fight. After returning home, Qin Chu went upstairs to his study. The twins went to bed with their grandma. Hua Min didn't come home last night because he was on duty. The next day, Hua Min got off work and went home to sleep. Qin Chu was already at work. They didn't see each other and didn't send each other WeChat messages. They just kept on the cold shoulder. GK headquarters. When Bella went to the finance department to deliver some documents, she heard some gossip. When she came back, she was in a bad mood. Noon. Inside the GK cafeteria, Bella and Jixin sat in a corner and chatted after getting lunch. What's wrong? You don't look well. Is something on your mind? Jixin asked. Bella didn't say anything. The broccoli today was good. Let me get you some more. Jixin was about to get up. No, I don't want to eat. Sit down, I have something to tell you. Why are you so serious? What's wrong? Jixin and Bella's relationship had always been slow. On one hand, it was because Bella was older than Jixin. She had the aura of a strong career woman. Secondly, Jixin had always been afraid that he wouldn't be able to be her friend if he told her about it, so he had always been more than a friend but less than a lover. Bella was nice to Jixin, but she was worried that people in the company would gossip about him. After all, he was President Qin's brother-in-law. It was inevitable that people would say that Bella had seduced the CEO's brother-in-law in order to marry into a rich family. Therefore, their relationship had been put on hold. However, Bella treated Jixin much better than the other colleagues, which made Jixin very satisfied. He always obeyed Bella, who was like a big sister to him, whether it was in work or in life. Recently, have you noticed anything wrong with President Qin and President Hua? You mean my sister and brother-in-law? Jixin froze. Bella nodded. No. I haven't been messaging my sister on WeChat recently. She's been pretty busy. What's wrong? I heard rumors from the finance department today. What rumor? Do you know Sun Xiaoxiao who was hospitalized a while ago? I heard. Wasn't she the one who had a heart attack and was sent to the emergency room? Yes, she treated President Qin to dinner after she was discharged. Oh, that's normal. That woman is in her 40s. She's old and ugly. Even if she had dinner with my brother-in-law, it would be fine. Jixin laughed heartily. No, the problem is there was someone else that day. Someone else? Do you remember Zhang Manlin? Bella asked Jixin seriously. Chapter 25-22. Zhang Manlin. That name sounds familiar. Jixin tried his best to recall. The woman who came to work at our company and was fired by President Qin. I remember now. Is she the woman who looks like my sister? Yes, but I really don't think she looks like Sister Mian. She can't compare to her at all. Bella had a strong opinion of Zhang Manlin. Of course, my sister is the one and only genius in the world. Come on, that's not the point. Please, I think that woman is interested in President Qin. That can't be, right? It's true. I heard from Sun Xiaoxiao. Then, Bella told Jixin everything she heard from the finance department about the dinner that day. Most of the rumors were scary because you never knew what version would come out of someone else's mouth. So, what Bella heard wasn't as simple as a dinner. It was said that President Qin took the woman home and the two of them spent 2 hours alone. After hearing this, Jixin's face turned serious. Bella, is that really what you heard? I don't think it's reliable. My brother-in-law isn't that kind of person. Why would I lie to you? That's what I heard from Sun Xiaoxiao when she was chatting with the others. She said that President Qin kept looking at Zhang Manlin during dinner, and his eyes never left her. That can't be. My brother-in-law. I know him quite well. He's not that kind of person. He's really good to my sister. In the past, even when Mayor Song's daughter offered herself to him, he didn't want her, let alone an inexperienced young lady. It's a little unbelievable. Jixin, don't forget that Zhang Manlin has something special about her. What? She looks like Sister Mian when she was young. It's hard to say if President Qin didn't get lost in her or bring back memories of his youth. You don't say. You do have a point. Yeah, that woman is very scheming. So, I advise you to go and see Sister Mian when you have time and tell her about it. It's best if there's no sign of it. If there is, it's best to nip it in the bud. Don't let an irrelevant woman affect your relationship. Okay, I'll go see my sister after work. All right. After Huamin got off work, he went straight upstairs to sleep. When he woke up, it was already 12:30 in the afternoon. Mian, you're awake. It's time to eat. Okay. Mom, where are the kids? Huamin looked around, but he didn't see the twins. She was picked up by Ni Yang. He said that they were going to the new villa that Ni Yang bought. Lady Qin replied. Huh? These two brats, why didn't they tell me? I've already ordered a meal for you. Hurry up and eat downstairs. Thank you, Mom. Huamin looked at his mother-in-law gratefully, then went into the bathroom to wash up. When she went downstairs to eat, she received a WeChat message. Zhu Lingling, girl, are you there? Huamin, yes. Zhu Lingling, I heard you had a fight with Mr. Qin recently. Huamin, Zhu Lingling, say something. Really? Huamin, how come you're so well informed? Did Qin Chu tell Gao Ran and Gao Ran told you? Zhu Lingling, my director Gao isn't that gossipy. I heard it from my son. Huamin, your son, Zhu Lingling. My son heard it when he was texting with Little Bean. I wanted to ask you, is it true? Huamin, so, my daughter told your son? Huamin was a bit dumbfounded. Were all kids nowadays this crazy? You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.